Okay, I think we're close enough. We can go ahead and do our prayer and pledge anyway. Commissioner Barrett, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Yeah. Heavenly Father, we come for you today. Pray that you watch over us and lead us and guide us as we go along and do the people's business here. And pray that you watch over our first responders and all our employees, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. You would stand with me for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll call this Marshall County Fiscal Court special called meeting July 22nd, 2025 to order. First item, we have some very special guests here, our Lady Marshals softball team. Mr. Pagel, tell us about it.
Well, we do have regional champs in front of us, the 2025 season. At regional champs, they're coached by Shane Darnell. I'll let Shane talk about himself and his staff and his team in a minute, but Coach Darnell's been at the high school since 2006, and he's been the head coach of softball for 3 years. Boys baseball coach, baseball for about 11 years before that. So he's been worked really hard. He's a good coach and good person, teaches carpentry, springboards a lot of careers out of that position, helping young people earn trades. So that's a big accomplishment for him besides the coaching he's done. So the team was 28-9-1, I believe. Coach says they felt like they had a chance the whole time through. He may want to talk a little bit more about that, but they're only the fourth softball team to win the regional title in Marshall County, and they're the first ever team to beat McCracken County in the finals.
Yes. There you go, girls.
Please
Yes.
get them out of here.
So the other MCHS.
The actual MCHS beat the other MCHS, right?
So, and it got a special opportunity to play in Lexington. So we're proud of you. I know how great it is when it all comes together. It's a special moment. I know you might want to talk about your staff and some things like that. So, Coach, you want to talk to us? Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for that introduction. What a special group with young ladies and also my coaching staff. Couldn't have done it without the community support, parent support, the support of our fantastic booster club that we have. Coaching staff that's here with me today, Coach Addie Harmon, formerly Addie Young. She's my assistant coach, and her softball knowledge has got me through a lot of things. She's played at the high school level for Marshall County. She also went and played at Campbellsville. Other coaches, my pitching catching coach is my son Griffin Darnell. He can't be with us today because he's working, and he did a great job with the pitching staff, calling pitches and keeping our catchers abreast of everything that they need to be aware of. And so he did a great job. And Griffin Ives was also my freshman coach and coached the outfielders in position groups. To introduce the players that I have here today, I have Miss Cadence Cavett, I have Emily Reynolds, Alyssa Bishop, Elin Demphip, Braylee Henson, Allison Harris, Brooklyn Oliver McLeod, Marin Oakley, Macy McLeod, and Tate McLeod. That's the players that can make it today. We have a lot of players that they may be at other practices, they may be at tournaments somewhere else. But as you mentioned, what a special season. Knowing that we had a chance when we first started, that's our goal. We set small goals, we set big goals before we start the season. And obviously our big goal was to win the region. And but small goals, we want to have a 20-win season. We want to win the district. We want the small goals. But we knew coming in that this may be our year against McCracken County, because when they came into us, we played with them and we beat them the first time we seen them early in the season. And once we done that, I think it just lit a spark in them, and they knew at that point, they're like, hey, this could be special. So, and they ran with that, and we did hit a little flat spot in the middle, but they came back from that and finished really, really strong with winning the region title, and then also getting an opportunity to go play at John Crop at Lexington. So you mentioned our record, 28-9-1. 4 of those wins were against top 10 teams in the state. We had an RPI, which is your strength of schedule. Our RPI was over 600, so our strength of schedule was really good. We played tough teams all year. We were ranked in the state in batting average, runs scored, hits, doubles, triples, RBIs, team ERA, and strikeouts. We were ranked in the state individually in home runs, walks, RBIs, ERA, strikeouts also, wins. Allison Harris, our main pitcher, she had 23 wins as a pitcher. That's amazing in a season. That's pretty good. So innings pitched. Also ranked in the state in saves. Our other pitcher, Lily Hayden, was ranked in the state, and individually ranked in hitting doubles and triples. So, what an amazing accomplishment! We appreciate the county for acknowledging us. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody want to say anything? Anybody? Oh, come on.
I think they all do.
Come on.
We got time.
I didn't mention Troy. Troy Lovett is our stat guy, and he is amazing. He keeps me out of trouble, subs and everything else. So I appreciate Troy too. And I overlooked that, and I apologize.
Okay.
Well, he comes from a class of brilliance at Marshall County High School.
Okay, well,
About
congratulations.
the first year they ever started that place, wasn't it? Somewhere in there.
We didn't have a gym or a
No gym, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything? Okay. Well, congratulations on a remarkable season. You've represented the county extremely well. We're very proud of that. And if nobody else has anything, we'd like to get a photo real quick. Under correspondence,
Okay.
June personnel changes.
I've got your June personnel changes. Corey Kurtner, term 6/5/25. Mike Mueller, term 6/6/25. Delvin Nielsen, deputy jailer, full-time to part-time, effective 6/10/25. Michael Frensley, court security, effective 6/30/25 at $15.98 an hour. Matt Reif, deputy jailer, effective 6/2/25 at $16 an hour. That's all I have for you.
Thank you. Under old business, need a motion to approve the minutes from July 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Audit quotes, Erica?
Of the 6 firms that I contacted for audit quotes, I heard back from 3 initially. One said that they no longer accept additional audits for fiscal courts. One asked me a deadline to get it in, and then I never heard back from them. And then Tammy Patrick and Associates, who's doing our current year audit, responded and said that she would do it for the same price that she's doing the current year audit. I would recommend to go with them. Maybe even they could do them back to back and us get done with it quicker. But that's my recommendation, is to go with Tammy Patrick again.
Move that we accept the treasurer's recommendation and go with, what'd you say? Tammy
Patrick and Associates.
Tammy Patrick and Associates.
So moved, or second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We caught up at this point? I mean, I know we were behind, obviously, but
The current audit that's going on with them is the fiscal year '24 audit.
Okay.
She'll start the '25
But
right after. But
good
yes,
enough
we're
to
not
where
3
we've
years
not
behind.
received anything
Right.
from the bond service or.
Well, yes,
Or they
they
still send
they
it
like
back.
to get their audit within like 3 or 4 months, and that's not really
and no
realistic.
one does that.
It's never realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the See, we have one of the contractors sitting back there, so we'll get him out of here. The New Hope Bridge bids, Roy?
We received 2 bids on the New Hope Road. One come in at, Smith Contracting come in at $319,000. And Knott Construction, come in at $313,000. Knott Construction is out of, Slaughters, Kentucky. I would recommend we go with Jim Smith Contracting. There's a few things in Knott's bid that, there's a few things that they put in, let's see, where is it? It don't include some of the dense grade and stuff like that. It's unforeseen price, so that's why I would recommend we go with Smith Contracting.
So,
On the approval of Kyle Pote, still
Yeah.
has to look at these.
yeah, I was gonna say, I can't remember when we talked about this. Like, is this a price that fits into what his thought was when we sent
No,
it back? It is not. It is the same basically as it was
We're
before, I
still-
guess. We just gotta,
we're still shy of $115,000.
so we have to try to negotiate this with the state, I guess, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, it may be something that we talk to Kyle Pote and he goes back to the city county bridge program and try to get us some more money for it.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, it should be, this shouldn't be a difficult, anyway, not with you, but I'm saying, you know, I mean, if they want the bridge program to actually work,
Yeah.
they should
Yeah.
know
Well-
what it costs.
We had to have a letter of recommendation from the state to send in for this bridge program. It was recommended by the state that we ask for $315,000 to complete the job. Well, the culvert is $111,000,
Yeah,
so we're over $115,000 off of their recommendation.
but we were told to request 315,000.
Yes,
We just were
yes.
denied that somewhat. Not denied, but told that it should only cost 200 or something like
Yeah,
that.
we received the 315, but the actual
Oh.
cost on it is 430.
Oh, this,
The engineer just-
sorry. This
they just missed the-
315 is without the $115,000
That's without the culvert. That's
right.
without us
Yes.
buying the culvert.
Yeah, I got you. I remember now what we talked about.
Yeah, we asked for the 315, and that's what we got.
And
But
they
once-
assumed a new culvert in it.
The state assumed that would take care of all
Right.
the price.
But it takes care of everything but the culvert, which is kind of important to the project,
Yeah.
one would assume.
Kind of the star of the
Okay,
show.
just making a,
But I would recommend Jim Smith and upon the approval of Kyle Pote. And I sent these to Kyle Pote Friday, and I reached out to him Monday by phone, and I haven't heard back, so.
okay. Maybe we'll get
Culvert.
lucky.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the bid from Jim Smith Contracting, pending approval from Kyle Pote?
So move.
Second,
Second.
any discussion?
So if we don't get that, did we budget something? I mean, we're gonna have to figure
Yeah,
out where to
we've
get
got,
it from,
we've got
right?
budgeted bridge money.
True, yeah,
So
that's right.
We're good.
We're good. as
Hopefully
far as
we'll
that.
get it.
Well, we're not good, no, we don't want that on tape, that we're good.
I meant,
gonna be a
we're-
struggle
I meant, we're
for
good
us
if,
to-
we're good if they
Never
award
mind.
the other 115.
Yeah, can we back that up a little bit?
Yeah, we're good if they award the other 115.
We'd rather not use it.
So, okay.
Vote
That's-
on it. We got to vote on it.
Oh, thank you. I get carried away sometimes. Thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next up, Jailer Roger Ford.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just back here for a follow-up of the July 1st meeting where I was asking for additional raises for my employees. I think that, we discussed I've got 3 openings, so we discussed the third opening, to spread out some raises for that, and then if the third opening come back, I could reimburse it out of the commissary. I'm sorry. We would move some money out of medical into salaries and then reimburse it out of commissary. And what I was asking there, and there again, I appreciate it, the $1.50 raise up from 16 for my young people and starting pay, and I appreciate that, but I would like to get them to $18, and then my other employees got a 3% raise, which there again, I appreciate that also, but I would like to get them additional money to get them up to a $2 hour raise. And I do have an appropriation transfer that we can do for my office help, my nurse, my kitchen, and my MRT classes, MRT instructor.
Okay.
All right, can we go back just to clarify on the last, what we discussed last time, was the 3 openings. I guess maybe I was adding that to what we have right now. I don't remember. But once it was sent back to you and that communication was back and forth or whatever, are you in agreement that right now the budget is based on 20 full-time deputy jailers?
I believe that's
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what you're saying then is that you would take from that 20th, you would take that off the table, but if you hired that, then you would take and shift that from somewhere else.
Correct, yes.
Also, just to clarify, if that were to happen, if you were to fill the 20th spot, and then we would need another appropriation transfer to move the money from the medical back into the deputy judge spot, 1.
Right.
Then 2, we would need a budget amendment that would have to be approved to bring in this outside money into the budget and restore the medical account. So 2 things would have to happen in that case, 2 actions of the court.
I guess the other piece to that too is that if you took the 20th, if you took the pay from the 20th deputy jailer line and did not like take it out completely and then filled that, then what we would have to understand is that we're either every year to stay whole or stay at what we are right now, or what we would be anyway, we would have to every year going forward take out that, whatever that figure is, out of the commissary.
Out of the medical and transfer. Then,
Yes, so in future budgets, if that was the direction the court wanted to go, there would be budgeted up front a receipt line from Rogers Commissary Fund
Yeah.
that funds part of the
medical.
expense side of the budget.
Funds medical,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
but then lowers medical, right? I mean,
Lowers
To-
the
to-
county's
to
portion
stay
of
whole.
paying the medical, yes.
right. So to stay whole, you would, yeah,
Right.
you would have to lower the medical,
And by stay whole, you mean to keep the portion that the county covers the same?
yes.
No, you would not lower the medical, you would leave it the same. You would just have an additional receipt,
Yeah.
From commissary.
You would budget from the commissary.
an additional receipt from the commissary, yeah.
What's the annual income on the commissary, Roger?
The income, what I have right now,
Yeah,
What
what
comes
now
in
and
every
then what's
year?
the average yearly on that?
I don't have the average yearly, to be honest with you. I mean, I range anywhere from 6,000 to 12, 13,000 a month.
I can pull your last commissary report, let me
Okay.
pull that really quick.
I know there's probably close to 400,000 in it right now. You know, because we don't have work crews and stuff where I buy trucks and equipment and stuff like that, you know, kind of limited on, and that's the reason that, you know, there's so much in it right now, because kind of limited on what I can buy. A lot of jails do buy, you know, vehicles to do work crews and stuff, but
Okay, so the last commissary report that we received was the fiscal year end June 30th of '24, so I assume that we'll be getting another one for this last year anytime now.
correct.
The fund balance going into that year of '24, the beginning balance was $229,000, and the ending balance was $334,000. So the difference there is about $105,000 when you account both the receipts and expenditures out of there.
Right.
I believe that was based on a year, though, that you had more inmates at the time.
Probably
So
so.
potentially this would be much different in the landscape that you have now.
Yeah, yeah. It could
Probably
be.
not 25. I'm thinking probably the one that you're about to give us for 2025 probably still has a higher amount because it
Because it's
reflects a
got-
time period where we had a lot of
Yes.
Grace County inmates.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? So Roger, if I'm understanding you correct, you're wanting to use the money from the 20th deputy and the fringe to cover the raises you're wanting to do.
Correct, yes, sir.
But you're wanting to leave that 20th position intact.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, hopefully with this starting to pay up, maybe people come around, but it's been hard for me to fill that 20th. But I'd love to be able to fill it. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to fill it. You know, if I ever get close to filling it, I drop back down to 18, you know, so unfortunately.
So where would the, so the deputy jailer, I think one of your communications said, and the county attorney, assistant county attorney, can tell us if this is correct or not, that those appropriation transfers can only come out of, or only come out and go to the same line? Is that correct?
I'm not sure what
No.
you're referring to.
So like.
But this can
like,
only be
could
done
the
with an
deputy
approved appropriation
jailers-
transfer.
Could a line on a deputy jailer, because they're separate than cooks, MRT, all that. They're not in the same, at least on the same spreadsheet. I don't know that matters, but go to pay, could a deputy jailer's money that we've allotted there go to pay raises, I guess, for anyone inside the jail?
Well,
Or does it have to only be for the deputy jailer line?
So you're saying by line, you say, that's what you're saying for budget?
Yes.
Okay, that's where your base is.
Yeah. So like we have deputy jailers here making a certain, and then we have MRT, we have cooks, we have staff.
I know now what email you're talking about. I'm sorry. It's
Go ahead.
clicking with me now. So it was an email with Jason that said, if it was understood by everyone when the fiscal court set the budget, is this the email? If it was understood by everyone when the fiscal court set the budget that it was doing so with the intent of Roger hiring another deputy position, then that is what has to happen. Because otherwise, it stands to reason that those funds would not have been allocated to the jail by the fiscal court in the first place. Conversely, the fiscal court can make appropriation transfers if that's, to my knowledge, the only thing that you can't do an appropriation transfer out of is a statutory obligation. So like our
Right.
PBA obligations, the things like that we're required by law to pay a specific amount for.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, the only difference here than before is that this money was set out in the budget for new hires. And because technically, you all set the pay rates. Now,
Yes.
in the past, the money's pretty well been budgeted and Roger just sets them himself. So you're kind of flip-flopping. I mean, according to the statute, that's the way it is. But you're given some discretion, which has worked out fine. Now, what I understand Roger to say is that the difference, he wants to change those salaries, but he's taking care of it out of his commissary.
Correct.
So that's a different ballgame altogether. That doesn't.
I think that's more contingent. He wants to take care of it if he then decides he wants to replace that 20th person.
Yeah. I would
After he-
reimburse it
Because,
when and if that 20th person is hired.
So this initial step that he's wanting to take, no, there's no additional.
Right,
cost.
right.
because the budget was set, like she was reading, the budget was set on 20 deputy jailers. And I guess the way that I read that is, okay, that's what you have to assume we wanted 20 deputy jailers, and we wanted that money to go toward. Now we are saying, no, we're fine with it, with not having that 20th deputy jailer, but keep it anyway, right? Because we're not taking it away and going down to 19.
Yeah, we're not happy with 9.
We're keeping it at 20, we're just taking the money.
Well, you're not really, at this point, you're not really taking the money, because he's paying for it.
No, that will only happen if he gets that 20, he decides to fill the 20th spot.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, you're fine.
it's
But,
only,
kinda
yeah,
like
you're
we're
still
borrowing
keeping
the
your
money.
20, but you're not taking that, you're not putting that money, labeling that money different than it's labeled in the budget. You're just adjusting it.
but where do
among
we
the-
have other than us just talking about it here, I guess, if we don't take it down to 19, then you could just go out and hire someone, and then it's already in the budget.
Right.
It's already in the budget.
Right.
So do we need an agreement somehow that says, okay, if you do that, then it must come from this?
I think you're
Because
also
if not,
self,
you could just hire, and I'm not saying he would do that, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
Right.
we're leaving the money.
Well,
in.
yeah, and that's like I've told fiscal courts for 25 years. That's all fine and good. These agreements, but when everybody's not getting along,
Yeah,
here's what happens.
Yeah.
Let's say this person doesn't carry their side, there's nothing you can do, except next year when it's budget time, you take care of it that way. And that just creates problems.
I think it'd be
I'm not saying it's wrong or you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, from a practical standpoint, these things get hairy sometimes.
but let's go back to what you said earlier, which is, I mean, So you're saying, let's say in your prior fiscal courts, you're saying that the jail was just allotted a certain amount of money and how you do what you want with that?
Pretty much,
I
right?
start saying, it's a deputy salary line. It doesn't specify how many
No.
deputies I have or anything. Because in order to do that, which we don't, I mean.
Well,
we'd
it
do a
does have the
staffing
number of
analysis.
deputies
We'd
in
do a
it.
staffing analysis, and we certainly don't want to do that.
So
To determine, but it's just the deputy salary line item's what it is.
So what you're saying, okay, so then basically what we're saying is only that portion of the budget that is, I guess what I'm saying is the budget, the tabs that we have that go along with that mean nothing
No,
statutorily.
budgets can be amended every day. You can amend your budget. You do it all the time.
But I guess what I'm saying is, though, is that the fact that that spreadsheet that has the budget in it that we approve has 20 deputy jailers in it doesn't matter. It's what is in the budget specifically for deputy jailers. So what we're saying is that we say we're looking at it as, okay, we're going to have 20 deputy jailers. That expense adds up to whatever it is, $1 million. So that's what we're thinking. But if we put that line in the budget of $1 million for deputy jailers, you could have 10 making double, not
No,
20 making
no.
that. No.
The
'Cause
fiscal
you're-
court still sets the rate,
Yeah,
sets pay rates.
you said 20 jailers, deputy jailers, and a certain amount of money. That sets a pay rate. The 20 in there means something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's what I think. I think to make this cleaner and a whole lot more understandable, if you want to do this, let's eliminate the 20th spot, use that money, and then if you get an opportunity to hire a 20th deputy, come back to us with the proposal of of taking away from medical or something, and then we'll revisit filling that 20th spot. That way, everything is a lot cleaner. We know what we got, and we go from there, I think would be the fair way to do it. Would it not?
I don't want to eliminate the 20th spot.
Well, why not just take your money out of the medical now and not even do this? That way you can keep.
Because I've got money there. I mean, I don't mean this, but what happens if I don't fill 19 and 20, and next year budget rolls around, we say, holy cow, you got this much money left here, and let's take some of it.
Well, we'll look at that at budget time.
Pardon me?
We'll look at that at the budget time.
I'd rather not do that.
I don't know that there's, I mean, I know we have carry.
But I mean, if
get it,
you've,
but
if
we're
you've
not
always
making
got
money.
them 2 spots open, if you're not ever gonna be able to fill them, I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying for right now, eliminate the 20th spot, transfer that money for the raises, and if you fill 19 and you think you can get a 20th spot, come back to us, we'll revisit it, taking it out of medical to open that 20th spot back up.
Well, I mean, I don't understand what we would, I don't understand what we'd gain out of that.
Just to clarify, Marty, he would not be able to hire the 20th spot without coming back to the court and getting a budget amendment first, because
Because we
the
have to,
changes that are made would cause
We
the
have to-
budget to only cover the 19.
Yes.
And I, as the treasurer, cannot allow anything to advance that would cause that line to go negative. So I would not be able to put in his 20th person into the computer system to pay them, because that would make me be doing something illegal, which is in allowing that line to advance beyond what is budgeted by the fiscal court.
And let's just say that I didn't hire this guy till February, March of next year. There still may be enough money in that line item to cover it anyway.
I guess there is a middle road where I meet with him and say, yes, that's correct, because we do budget the overtime in that line. And the overtime budget is,
But either way, we can, yes. I mean, I'm, either way, I can help out.
So you're saying if we eliminate the 20th, we can't put the 20th back in on this fiscal year budget?
The overtime budget is $88,000. So if he got to March and he's ready to hire the 20th person, and he's not used any overtime at all, then he would have money in there to hire the 20th person without needing to do a budget amendment. That's a really unrealistic scenario.
Right.
There's a ton of overtime with the deputy jailers, and it's because he only has 17. So I feel like that's a scenario we're discussing that's never going to happen. So to hire the 20th spot, we would have to have the budget amendment first, or else the line would not have enough money in it to sustain an additional person, unless he hired him on June 30th and we only had to pay him 2 times. Like, there's a lot of variability there. But as the treasurer, I could not pay that if it was going to make the line go negative. So I would never be able to add that 20th person back in because the money wouldn't be there. It would be redistributed.
Right.
Let me ask you this, 2 questions.
Yeah.
One is, what you're saying, is that going to require a budget amendment?
Which
When-
part?
If you don't use up your overtime, and what you're wanting to do, you're saying just, you go back and reassign that money.
Well, it's already in that account. It's already in that account. It's
But you
already in the
budgeted it
account.
as overtime.
That's right. So that goes back to the argument of if it's budgeted with 20 people and
Yeah,
overtime, then that's what it needs to stay at. But if you're doing a motion now to eliminate the 20th spot, then
that's
there
what.
wouldn't be a 20th
and
spot
that-
without
okay,
the
but you're
court.
saying what Commissioner Barrett said. That's what you mean. His proposal, wouldn't that require a budget amendment now?
Yes, no, it would require a budget amendment if the 20th spot was hired before the end of the fiscal year. Because what's in question is taking the 20th spot away right now.
Well, wouldn't that'd still require a budget amendment, wouldn't it?
The 20th spot, it would just be appropriation transfers at this
Just to
point.
be an appropriate, okay, less formal, but, okay.
But still has to be approved by the fiscal. court.
Okay,
But that's what I was saying, if he had the opportunity to hire the 20th, we couldn't come back and do a budget amendment to put the 20th spot back in, then he
Right.
could pull it out of medical or
Right.
commissary or whatever.
Right, but my point was, you wouldn't have to worry about whether or not that happens. It has to happen, or I can't allow it to go forward.
Yeah.
now, back to Roger. You don't like that because that means that he's eliminating a spot
Correct.
and putting that money somewhere else. So you're wanting to just add the money for the spot. You fund what you can now
And then if
going
that-
forward.
Correct. And when that spot comes occupied, then we do a transfer
Okay.
instead of amendment.
Would it not be?
And the
an
reason I went through that is just because we start talking about flip-flopping money and that, there's a difference between a budget amendment and just appropriations transfer. And I don't want to get too far in the weeds here as far as, I had to get straight in my head on what everybody's wanting.
Yeah, but
Just something
would that
thinking.
20th spot be an unfunded position if we pull the money away from that spot and not eliminate it? It would be, if we use that money for raises, then that 20th position would be an unfunded position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. If we
Yeah.
eliminated it, then it wouldn't be there to be an unfunded. I might be looking at it wrong, but that's the way I look at it.
I agree with you.
Well,
But everybody's goal is to have 20 spots.
yes, and like I said, if he gets the opportunity to hire the 20 spot, then we come back, do the budget amendment, add the spot back, he pulls the money out of medical or commissary or whatever. I don't understand why you don't just do that now instead of using the money from the 20th spot if he's actively trying to get the 20th. I'm just trying to make it clean and,
No, I just want to make sure I've
So you're
understood
wanting to pull
everybody's
the 20th
position.
spot plus the money.
well, if we pull the money from the 20th spot and leave the spot there, it's unfunded. There's no money
But
without doing
it's a deputy jailer's salary.
Yeah. But you're going to take that salary and use it for raises instead of that salary. And
But
then,
if I'm correct, now I may be wrong, but if I'm correct, a line item's a line item, and as long as I'm spending it towards that,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, but you've got a set amount of money in your budget to spend too, right? So if you
Correct.
spent that money, in theory, you don't have the money to hire a 20th guy because
Yes.
that money was spent.
Appropriation
That's what I mean by unfunded position.
All we'd have to do is appropriation transfer. And that we wouldn't have to do a budget amendment or
Right.
anything.
So at this
We're just looking
point,
at more work to do that.
so at this point, he could do this without anything.
Well, as
No,
long as he's doing
we have
it.
to prove the appropriations to do anything.
Well, unless you budgeted specifically for new hires, and if he were taking that money to give raises. That's not what he's saying, though.
No.
Okay. And then what Eric is saying, in my understanding, is you either do it now, make the change, or at some point, you're gonna have to do something, because she can't. It's the same thing, it's just whether it's now or then.
Right.
A fraction of this money is coming from fringe also. So that's another line. So
Right.
it's not just all coming out of that salary line.
I think, Marty, am I understanding you right, you're wanting to do the appropriation, a budget amendment now to move the commissary money into medical, then move the medical over to salary, that, for him to leave the 20th position, do it
That's the only way I
now.
would do it, to leave the 20th position available, because if we don't, it's an unfunded position is what I'm getting at.
I agree with you on that.
So
And-
if.
and then if he
wants
does
to
it
If he
now.
wants to do the raises, do that now out of medical and commissary and not touch the salary for the 20th position.
How is it an unfunded position, though, as
Because-
long as there's money in there to hire somebody to pay him?
Well, but.
There's not.
but-
That's the line, my understanding it right.
Once you do the
there's-
appropriation transfer, there'd no longer be money in there to hire that
Yeah, that
position.
money's gone.
Like, it takes it
The
out.
only appropriation transfer I would be doing is for the office, the kitchen, and MRT.
Right, and the rest of the money for the open spot would have to go to the other deputies that you're wanting to give raises to that are in the same line. That's why it's not included in
Right,
appropriation
that-
transfer.
Yeah, that wouldn't have to be a transfer.
Correct, but that would use the money. It wouldn't still be there to be used for a 20th spot.
But there's not going to be, if this position is open January, I mean, I didn't do the numbers, you might be able to do them real quick. How much money would there be enough money there to pay somebody for 6 months? No.
There's no way for me to answer that question. It would all be contingent on how much overtime is used between now and then.
Correct, so there could be, though. So if there
Potentially.
is, it wouldn't be unfunded.
There could be, you're correct, but would you not assume, wouldn't you have to assume that if we set the deputy jailer's salary amount based on 20 positions, and then you take one position's money out of that, you would assume that if you hire that back, you are eventually going to run out of money.
And
Right?
you've taken the fringe
You know
out
what
of
I'm
it
saying?
too.
It's according to what time of the year you pay them, right? Correct.
But the thing of it is, in a private business, that's fine, but we're in a public business. We've got to account for worst-case scenario. We have to we're held accountable for every decision we make. So I want it all out and open what this does. And I'm not saying you can't actively seek after that 20th person. If you have if you fill 19 and you have a 20th person, you just come back. We'll figure out how to add that back and what you're going to pull the money out of to pay for that for the rest of that fiscal year before the next budget. I'm not limiting you to just 19. I'm just saying to make this work clean and professional, I think this is the way we need to do it. But right now, I'm not trying to deny you the raises at all. I'm just saying it would leave that 20th position without the money to fund it in this budget.
But you're wanting to pull the money for that 20th also.
You've got to use the raises.
Pardon me?
If we pull the money out of that 20th spot to fill the raises, then that's just, I'm sorry, I don't, how in the world somebody's calling me on a county iPad, but I don't know what to do.
Push it like you were going to turn it off, and that'll
Yeah,
silence it.
it shut off. I'm sorry about that. But now I've lost my train of thought. Pretty simple-minded. But if we took the money and the fringe from that 20th position and use it to build raises, then there's no money in that line for that 20th position. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to
Okay,
deny.
so you're not saying pull the money, you're just saying on paper, we're pulling the 20th position.
Yes. You have to. If there's not money, if you've got a stack of money for each deputy, and you got that 20th stack, and you take all the money out of that 20th stack and divide it up with the other 17 deputies, there's no money in that stack for that 20th person. So what I'm saying, if we do that, use that salary for the 20th person to pay the rest of them raises, which I'm fine with, but we have to eliminate that spot because there's no stack of money to pay that guy. And if you get a chance to hire that guy, you come back to us with a plan to pull your money out of medical and commissary to finish the budget year out for that 20 position, then we will do that then at that time.
I mean,
San Antonio, Texas.
I don't guess that's a big deal. I mean,
I'm just saying that
I mean-
that's a public
but I don't see
accountability.
what the difference is, but, I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, kind of the way I look at it is, though, you got a deputy salary line item, and there's X amount of money in there, and if I spend that X amount of money, then I'm in trouble. But as long as I stay within that, I mean,
My understanding is, but we have to approve that, so then we're held liable also for,
what are you actually approving, though?
we're approving you to take the money out of that 20th salary, that 20th person's salary, and spread it above the other 17.
I mean, we kind of discussed that last time. I mean, even the judge said, that's my money.
Okay, so I think
But
what
I-
I hear you saying is that since the money's in the line, you can spend it how you want to.
Well,
But the contradiction to that is, the KRS says that the
Yeah.
fiscal court sets the salaries, number one. And number two is the email that I've already read from Jason that said that the fiscal court set the budget with 20 open deputy spots when they did that. So that's what has to happen unless they choose to do differently. Otherwise, the jail would have never gotten the budgeted funds in the first place. So
Yeah, if
my
I
answer to you would be, is that, no, you cannot use that line how you want to. The fiscal court has to set the salaries.
That was my understanding, and that, I didn't want to.
well, and like I said, I'm fine with that too. It's just a couple extra steps where I don't think we'd have to, but that's fine too. I mean,
I'm just following what I was told as KRS says we have to do. That's the way we have to do it.
I
I
mean-
mean, everybody knows there's 2 or 3 extra steps to any government program.
Okay,
Not that
so how about I go here? We'll see where this goes. Is there a motion to approve the appropriation transfer for the jailer to be able to request the additional raises that would eliminate the 20th position?
So move.
Is there a second?
Trying to figure out. Say that again.
Is there a motion to approve an appropriation transfer for the jailer to be able to request his additional raises that would include eliminating the 20th position? We have a motion, asking for a second to the motion. Okay. Have a motion. Is there a second? Okay, one last call. Have a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Yeah, if I knew how money, I would.
Okay. If there's no second, motion dies.
Could I ask the court why we didn't second this?
I haven't said anything yet, but I'll put my, this is a conversation, the first time we talked about this was on July 1st, was the very first day of the fiscal year. And to me, in my opinion, these discussions should have happened in May, before we set this budget, instead of letting it ride. We thought we were doing the right thing, at least in my opinion, when I saw them, that we were doing what you wanted,
You must not have seen the budget
to bump it from 16 to 1750
That's
minimum.
No, that's not what I asked for.
I don't know which budget you submitted as opposed to what I seen. I can't tell you that, but
And I don't think that I really even seen the budget till like the day before the first reading.
that's my position. If you get in critical shortages 6 or 7 months from now, to where you get down to 15 or 16, because you're at 17 now,
I've been
right?
down to 11 deputies before.
Yeah.
Guys here,
And I think you got to give the 1750 a chance to work.
well, I understand that, but if you go to buy something, that's the reason people price stuff at $17.95, because it looks better than 18. That's where 18 looks better than 17.50. And you said I probably should have come in May. Maybe I should. I did submit a budget, and it was not this budget. And I get it. I probably never submit one that's not full West something.
Sure,
And I get it.
sure.
But there has been comments over the years, and I understand this, completely understand this, that, I'm proud for them because they deserve it. But for several years, I've heard 911 and the jail are underpaid. We've got to get their pay up. We've got to get their pay up. Now, I get it. November the 1st of last year, a big pay come to 911. Now, I'm proud that they got it because they deserved it. But why doesn't my people deserve it?
And I don't think we're insinuating that it's a matter of deserving or not.
Hey,
We
we're not-
just,
I'm not
we
even-
just re-upped the fiscal year. We
I'm
just
not-
had the budget for the fiscal year in July.
I'm not asking for no money.
We didn't have any conversations about this
But
before.
would you agree, though, that throughout the last few years, we have given some raises above COLA to your higher-end people also? This is
Yeah,
not
and I
it's not like
appreciate
I know you do.
But my higher-end people are
But
low,
we've done
though.
that. We have done that. We have, I think, done that. We did that with the office staff, and then they retired, and we didn't, that I'm aware of, I don't think we decreased
Oh, yeah.
that by a ton.
Yeah. $13,000.
Okay. But
You cut it $13,000. Cut my kitchen $1,200. Yeah. And you're right. I think the last couple of years we have given a dollar maybe to my higher end people. You know where my higher end people are right now? Like 18. Well, not counting the 3%. They was 18. I'm talking about my supervisors on top of that. I got a guy that's been with me for 10 years he had to have $1 an hour this year, or if he didn't, starting pay was going to be higher than his. Guy been with me 10 years making $18. My supervisor's making 18 and some change, 70 something maybe.
I think we adjusted a couple of years for those, but maybe it was whenever we increased it to the $16. We gave those, because we sat down, we decided with you, okay, these guys are supervisors, we're going to give them $1 more or whatever it was
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
And so then we were trying to bring the lower level up, because that's where we thought we needed it to be able to get your staffing, because that's what we hear from you each time, obviously, and I get it.
Yes.
It's tough to keep, and we thought we were doing the right thing. Obviously, we disagree.
Do you know how my older guys feel right now?
I think you said it last time. Like they're not as important as the newer
And they got,
folks, I guess.
50-cent raise. So, and there again, I appreciate everything you guys have done. I don't want you to misunderstand me. But, I just don't get it. I'm not asking for any more money, but November the 1st of last year, there was a bunch of money that was found somewhere. And we'd done a department the way it should have been done. And I'm proud for that department. I'm not jealous of them or anything. Could you make it on $18 an hour? Could you? Could you? Could you?
Okay. Is there any motion of any kind pertaining to this anyone wants to make?
Think about it. Could you make it on their salary?
I go back to what I said, I guess, last time, which is we obviously need to have a discussion with you involved of what are we comfortable with going forward for this jail, and what is it going to cost us every year? Because, and I get it, I know I know this jail was not here to make money. I get it. But at the same time, what makes it difficult, regardless of whether you think it should be or not, is the loss of $1 million worth of revenue in that time, plus that we have done some of those. I think what we've done in the past, I feel like, is a fiscally responsible thing to do with our budget, which is look at departments as we have those issues and figure out how are we going to keep these folks. And so I think at the time that we did this, I felt like we were doing the fiscally responsible thing. But it does make it more difficult whenever you're thinking we're not just increasing revenue, we're taking a substantial amount. Increasing expenses, but we're taking a substantial amount of revenue off the table as well. And so I guess at this point, even though you've said, I know that you feel like that some of that revenue will come back, I'm not seeing it. I think we have to assume.
No, it's not going to come back overnight, no.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. So, I think before I'm comfortable with doing anything as far as making a motion to increase those, I want to know, I guess I'm maybe too analytical. I don't know. But that, okay, here's what it's going to cost us annually to run this jail going forward if we assume these pay increases and we assume this revenue. because I don't think that's what we were looking at when we were trying to figure out this budget and how it works.
To speak to that a little bit, budgeting going forward. The budget in the current year for the jail is already minimal on both sides, the receipt side and the expense side. The receipts for the jail mostly come from, there's some house bill money that we get.
Yeah.
There's some random little dollars we get here and there for like DUI stuff. We get weekend money where people come to the jail and serve weekend sentences. We get house bill money, that's for inmates who are completing programs for the first time, certain ones. I'm sure Roger could give you information if you wanted to know who qualifies for that. State inmates contract with other counties interest. That's it. In the past, our state inmates, of course, you know that, was a moneymaker. It's not anymore. In the last 2 or 3 years, our county, contracts with other counties have been a moneymaker because of Grace County. It's not going to be this year. Will it continue to not be? Likely. That's likely what's going to happen. So with that being said, the way that the expense side of the budget is funded is with those receipts, which we've already talked about are minimal, carryover from prior years, and occupational tax subsidy. So with the current year budget being minimal, I anticipate that we will not have much, if any, carryover to leave out of this year and go into next year. So the 26 year we're in, since I don't anticipate extra receipts, we're probably not getting those Grace County people back. Our state inmate probably going to stay on track with what's already budgeted. We will not have additional carryover to go into next year, which means that the budget stays the same. Expense side of the budget stays the same. And it's going to have to. The two biggest things on the expense side of the budget in the jail are people and food. And you can't get rid of it. It's going to take a lot more occupational tax subsidy than it has in the past to make that expense side of the budget work. So I agree with Monty. I think that there needs to be a decision of what you expect that to look like that's realistic. Because we only have so much occupational tax to go around. And I'm telling you right now that the amount that the jail is going to need next year is going to go up. Unless something crazy happens unexpected. My prediction is that it will go up significantly, maybe $500,000, maybe $750,000.
May get to the point we have to sub it out like Graves County. Save us money.
I mean, I don't have a comment on that, but I do agree that we need to sit and figure out what the court's comfortable with so that we can make decisions now that will get us towards that target.
Where did the funding come to do those raises in November?
I know that there was at least one position that was eliminated
Yeah,
I get it, I understand. But
and
there
has
was-
not been refilled.
But there were still some nice raises given. And there again, I'm glad. They deserve it. But why didn't we get a little bit of it?
Well, the thing is that was in November. Okay, you knew that.
Their budget-
You knew that in November. They give you 7 months to prepare for, or at least a couple months to prepare for beginning negotiations with our budget committee.
You know, keep going back to 911, their budget, correct me if I'm wrong, was the same this new fiscal year as it was last year. Their budget did not increase.
I cannot recall. I would have to deep
Mine
dive
didn't
into
either,
that.
really. Maybe a little bit.
But
Mine hasn't increased in years. Let me ask you fellas something. We've had 3 weeks. Has anybody talked to another jail? Anybody seen how many employees they got, what their budget is? You did? Who'd
Yeah.
you talk to?
We got some information from Callaway County.
All right. How many employees they got?
Callaway County has additional employees than we do, but they also have very little overtime. So there's a balance there.
They have how many employees?
I feel like maybe 30, and that includes all their people. Those are full-time people.
They also, that was
So that's
based,
cooks and like secretary.
that was
like all- that's
based
all.
on a $14 an hour pay wage for the
Right,
deputies.
they had
But what's
$14 an
their-
hour until
what's their
July
budget,
1st.
though?
I'm sorry?
What's their budget?
They brought over $100,000 in.
They were
during
maybe
crash and rolling.
$100,000 more than us, very close to where we are. Again, because, yes, they have more people, but they're not having all the overtime.
But we're a
And
little
those
bit-
things,
We're a little bit bigger jail also.
those things kind of average out. And yes, they went from $14 an hour last fiscal year for their starting pay to $17.45 this year. So they're right on track as far as starting pay.
Yeah. They must have,
As far as it
at
started,
one
yeah.
time, their budget was much more than mine.
Okay, I've called once. I'm going to call for a second time. Is there a motion
I think you've called twice.
pertaining to this that anyone would like to make? Okay, I'm going to call one more time. Is there a motion anyone would like to make pertaining to this? Okay. If not, we're going to move on.
The only thing I would say is I do think we need to have this budget discussion. However, it's done in here, you know, with these numbers to figure out, okay, what are we comfortable with? So
Have I
y'all
ever
think
went
that
over on
that's-
my budget? Have you guys ever seen me go over on the budget?
What I just said.
I don't know that has anything to do with it. I mean, we're talking about a budget, though. I've
guess
never went
we're-
over my budget. I've never spent.
I mean, I know you're upset, but we've, even me personally, last year's fiscal year, I went to the judge for you specifically and got an extra $100,000 put into your budget for salaries. You know, we went from minimum pay 3 years ago was $13.50. Then it went to 15, then it went to 16, now it's $17.50. You know,
But we're not helping my older people.
as far as that, but
They're not leaving.
go to them. That has to come through the budget workshop before we ever get to it.
And I had it in there.
You know, so. And we didn't hear any of these meetings. I don't know why we waited till the first day of the new fiscal year to try to do this. Unless it
Because
was
I'm not asking for no more money.
just on the
I'm not
premise
asking for
of,
more money.
let's get the money in there and
I'm asking
then
for a transfer, that's all I'm doing.
it just,
I'm not asking for money. You guys do appropriation transfers every meeting. Every meeting.
I think we just,
We
Disagree.
do there from like budgeted OTA transfers, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I think Roger means just appropriation transfers from
Budgeted.
like
Yeah.
office supplies to equipment or whatever.
Yeah.
I do want to clarify for the record, just because you asked me, if you were to look at, back to the Callaway County budget, if you were to look at the bottom line of the budget, it does look like there's more, they spend more than us, but that's because in their jail budget, they include the jail utilities, the jail insurance, the jail's workers' comp. We don't do that to you. It's not in your budget, it's in the fiscal court budget. So I just wanted to let you know, if you decided to go research it later.
Just the
to clarify.
utilities for us, for the jail's about 75 grand. That's not in there.
So those items are in our fiscal court budget. That's the way we choose to do it. Callaway chooses to do it a different way. There's not anything right or wrong about either one, just for information.
and I did pull Callaway's budget several months ago before any of this was an issue, if that makes you feel any better or worse. I pulled it back in January just to prepare for budget time.
Okay,
I'm gonna call for a short recess.
second.
Okay, I want to ask you guys one thing. I want you to look at the camera. 'Cause I'm sure my people will be watching this.
And I can look them in the eye and tell them I've done everything that we could over the last 3 years to get their pay up.
I appreciate it, Eddie, but. you
You're
know
letting the
what?
emotion of
But
it get to you.
Our pay was way down here. It was way
I know
under what
that.
it should have been.
You know, and I feel like I can speak on that because I've started there.
Yes.
And worked my way up. I've been a county employee almost my whole
Yes.
life, so.
Yes.
And
I'm going to give you guys a piece of paper.
I feel like
I just
it's,
want you to
we've done a
look at it,
pretty
read
good
it
job of
before you go
getting
to bed
that
tonight, okay?
up.
Maybe keep it by your bedside every night. That's the truth.
I don't deny that one bit.
Thank you. Would you read it? Would somebody read it?
Correctional officers, ordinary human beings doing an extraordinarily difficult, often thankless job that no one in the vast majority of human beings would not and could not do.
Thankless job. That's what it is.
None of
Okay.
us said it wasn't,
Yeah.
Roger. I mean, I hear that and I see that. But to insinuate that we don't care because we are not going to change this budget and give a $2 raise across the board is not right. So,
Who's the lowest paid department in this county?
I mean, on average, what you want me to?
No,
You
no,
want to
no.
look, so I know you feel like it is the jail, but I'm not certain that it would be, considering the,
Animal control.
Okay, I understand. Guess what?
and
My inmates are out there probably saving a whole lot of money doing all the work out there.
I understand that. I wish they was picking up trash too, but.
I do
that's
too.
another story.
I wish they was too.
They did a great service during the sandbagging, and it was greatly appreciated by me. It took a lot of stress off of me, and the community appreciated it. And they were such gentlemen, and I actually submitted a letter for all them that helped
Yes,
out
you
there.
did, and I appreciate it. And they appreciate it. And I appreciate what they did.
I got a motion on the floor.
But
We do.
we've got.
We got a motion and a
Okay,
second
we've
for
got
a
the animal
recess.
shelter at the lowest pay, then it's the jail. And what, you got 2 employees out there?
and
One full-time.
we have we've gradually trying to get to that, and I think we're way more competitive than we were when I first came into office. But there were 100 years that that jail was there before we got here.
Yes. But the economy hasn't done what it's done the past few years. There again, you guys make as much at your part-time job, full-time, than my people do.
We're not gonna have that.
I'm disappointed. I really
So are
am.
we. We're very disappointed that you would try to throw us on the bus like that, just point blank.
Eddie, I'm not throwing you under the
Yeah,
bus.
you are.
No, it's not. No, I'm
Yeah.
not. It's just the
What have you
truth.
done to advertise? I look on Indeed all last week. Graves County Jail's on there, Callaway County Jail's on there hiring.
I've
I don't
been on
see
there.
Marshall.
Eddie,
I love you, buddy. I love you,
love
brother.
you, too.
I'm thankful you gave me my start, but this
And
this
I'm not-
conversation
I
has
want
gone
you guys
on
to
long
understand,
enough.
I'm not mad at any of you.
Yeah, it's gone on
We're
long
friends.
enough. We've been in here
Eddie,
about an hour.
I've had it on, and no, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I do not get mad at people. I get disappointed with them, but I'm not mad at you.
But we have to get used to
But
that.
Eddie,
We're elected
I
officials.
have
We have
had
to get
it
used
on
to that.
deed before. You can ask Mr. Pagel. You get applications from Chicago and everywhere, and then when you call them, they're like, who is this? I have had a few hired from there, not many.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of but it's part of the process. Somebody needs to be doing those things all the time.
Well,
And
I'll get it back on Indeed.
you have to, you just got to go to where, and you may have to go through 50 to get one.
You're correct. You know what I did? I had 5. I hired 5 one time. You know how many showed up? 2.
I don't doubt it.
And they all come from Indeed. Now, don't get me wrong. I think I've got some good ones from Indeed also. I'm not knocking it. You know, and I'll get with Mr. Pagel and we'll get it back on there.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Next up, Marshall County Ambulance Service. Brian?
Do I need to decline my
Oh,
motion?
I'm sorry. Need to call the meeting back to order.
Can I get up for just 1 second? I do have an employee that's actually been with me that's making less than what starting pay is now.
That can't be.
Yeah. I think they was at 17 and they got a 3% raise.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Brittany.
I guess what we did was,
I believe that when the budget was created, we've come back to this already once before. When the budget was created, the starting pay for your deputies, because those were the ones that you have a problem with retaining, were the ones that were adjusted. It wasn't necessarily across the board. I know after the fact, we talked about it and we had to pick up, I think, 2 cooks maybe, and somebody else, but we didn't pick up Brittany at the time. It wasn't talked about at the time. I don't know that it was necessarily purposeful. It could have just been an overlooking, but the court would still have to give a directive on that too. Let me look at hers. Give me just a second.
I mean, I know that I had one guy that was making 17. He went to 18 because of that.
yeah, no, I mean, when we talked about that last time, which would have been last year, when we did another large increase for the lowest, for the entry level, we did go back and increase those ones, but it was focused on the deputy jailer line.
Well,
I agree.
What does she make?
So
now?
Brittany currently makes $17.49 an hour,
not
so
take
she's a
that
penny
out.
off from the $17.50.
yeah. But now, see, I've got 3 deputy jailers also. 1 in the kitchen, 2 in the office. They are sworn officers also. Now, their budget, their salary doesn't come out of the deputy jailer line, but they are deputy jailers also. And, I mean, I've got a head cook that, needs a little bit more. There again, he's a sworn officer also, a head cook, making the same thing that the other one's making.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on. Brian, if you would come up and address us for the ambulance service, please.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So I come today and I met with Judge, I believe it was earlier or later last week, it was on Friday, to basically kind of bring to attention to him a letter that I'm looking to submit to our regulatory board. And what this letter is basically I'm requesting an exemption from one of the K-Beams regulations that pertains to paramedic staffing. So little background is, like a lot of industries, EMS is really hurting for paramedics. There's lots of limited access to paramedic programs. So a lot of services across the state are struggling with maintaining paramedic coverages. So one of the regulations requires that 25% of your staffing on a ground or for a ground Class 1 EMS agency has to be at the paramedic level. So for us, we typically staff 3, so that would be 1 unit that we have on duty staffed with a paramedic. To date, we've only had a couple of instances, and those were last year in which we did not have a paramedic on. We do have adequate staffing, like we're still staffing 3 trucks every day. For the most part, we've not had a really big issue with getting paramedics. I do have 1 currently off on medical leave right now. And so in talking with our liaison to the board, just kind of, going through that, is he, I explained to him our position. He explained to me, how other services are dealing with it. So the board actually now offers this waiver. So you can request the waiver in which you are basically kind of exempt from the paramedic staffing. So that doesn't take away from the fact that every day that, we still are planning on and will attempt every way possible to maintain having a paramedic on. I'm just kind of looking at this to kind of have this in our back pocket. So if we do run into an instance to where, say, I have a paramedic hurt, a full-time paramedic hurt, and they're off for 6 months, just kind of one of those. It's not that I plan to utilize it every single shift or every single day, but just in the instance that if we don't have a paramedic, if they're off on leave or somebody calls in sick, and we're unable to find coverage for that day, is that we won't be fined by the board for that regulation violation, if that makes sense. So basically, if you don't have this waiver and you have a shift in which you don't have a paramedic on duty, then you have to do what they call self-report. You have to basically log in, report to the board that, hey, we violated this regulation, and then they slap you with a $100 fine. So also, too, to try to help, if we are putting that instance to save a little bit of money, I'm kind of looking, like I said, to get this submitted to the board so that we don't run into that situation.
All right, educate me now.
Yeah.
Paramedic, is that different? Is there different levels?
There are three different levels, and so there's your lowest level is an EMT basic, and then you have an advanced EMT, which is kind of in the middle, and then you have a paramedic, which is the highest level.
Okay.
So for us, I mean, we have ample amount of advanced EMTs, and most of our units, a lot of days, are staffed with advanced EMTs. So, it wouldn't really jeopardize like our care that we provide to the county.
Yeah.
This is just like in those rare instances, and in the letter, I actually state, that currently now we have 4 full-time paramedics, and one of those is off on medical leave. So, there are days that it kind of puts us in a little bit of a bind, but so far we've done really well with it. And, right now we have several PRN paramedics also, so they
Okay.
help pick up a lot of those days.
Yeah.
Like I said, this isn't for any way to for us to basically kind of skirt that regulation. It's just if we're put in that position to where if something comes up and we find ourselves like, hey,
Yeah.
we're not going to have a paramedic, then we have this waiver to basically kind of absolve us from having to follow that regulation.
So
Okay.
does, obviously, I assume there's something that a paramedic can handle that an advanced EMT cannot?
Well, when you get
But
out
for
into
the
it,
most part,
there's
yeah.
basically certain procedures that as you progress, there's certain procedures that are kind of added to each scope of practice. So when you get into the differences between your advanced EMTs and paramedics, a lot of it is medications. Like there's a few more medications that paramedics can give. Paramedics can also do the EKG interpretation, which they can actually read the EKGs and stuff. And then also, too, they can do what they call endotracheal intubation, which is where they put the tube, down somebody's throat to breathe for them. But there's also airway devices that advanced EMTs can do that are very effective. So it's like, there are those skills, but it's so to speak, because it's not really going to jeopardize. It wouldn't really jeopardize like the care we provide. The biggest issues we'd come into as far as not having paramedics is if we have an interfacility transfer that we're coming out of, Marshall County or Baptist or Lourdes, and we're having to transport somebody somewhere and they're on, a ventilator or they're on some sort of medication infusion that an advanced EMT can't do, then we may have to have them send a nurse along with us to be able to manage and monitor, those devices. But that's really the biggest differences, like I said, is you just kind of have those little things added to their scope of practice as they progress.
So-
And there's a lot of services that run, and even K-beams, I think, at the long term, kind of looking at it, as I think what you're going to see more of is your paramedics are going to be used more for interfacility transfers just because of their medication knowledge, the ability to run ventilators, and your advanced EMTs. And I think I mentioned this to Judge whenever we met, is that, your advanced EMTs will be doing a lot of your 911 emergency calls. Because, their scope of practice, they can handle just about any call that we run across, whether it's trauma, medical calls, strokes, heart attacks, they can still manage all of those. So it's like, this is just kind of one of those, like I said, it's not really going to jeopardize the care we provide. It's just having that if we find ourselves in that situation to where for some reason, if we can't get a medic to cover, then we won't have to go through the process of self-reporting every time.
So let me ask you this. I know it's only you and the judge who would sign this. Does this not have to also be agreed to by the hospital?
No, basically the way the regulation's written is we just have to notify the county judge executive because our license is owned by the fiscal court.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we basically just have to make notification to the county judge executive. So I met with him, and then once I don't know if they sent it to Jason or Jeff or who they sent it to review it, but they recommended getting court approval for it. So that's why we're here today.
License is in the county's name, plus you own the property. So that's the reason we said,
And the expenses that go along with that property, correct? Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any more questions for him on that?
And your staff liaison to the board is who said this is what you need to do?
Well, he said that he's worked with several services to do it.
That does
Because like I
this.
said, this is not a problem that's just specific to us. It's a problem, from one end of the state to the other.
Rural,
So
I'm sure.
they've had so many services, barking at the board, about having
Yeah.
paramedic issues. So then they come out with this waiver to allow services to not have to abide by that specific regulation.
Okay.
And like I said, and I just want to reiterate, To date, like I said, I think we've had 2 instances, and they were last year, and both of those were self-reported. But as far as all of this year and the way our staffing looks right now, I don't foresee it being an issue. But, like I said, I'm just kind of looking at it from the standpoint of kind of protecting ourselves. So if we do get, because, I mean, you never know when somebody's going to get hurt, when something's going to happen, somebody's going to, accept a job somewhere else. So this is just kind of have that kind of little bit of protection there if we do run into that situation.
Yeah.
Brian, if you don't mind just a second, talk a little bit about, you and I discussed this. I know you all implemented a program in-house to be able to hopefully increase your hiring ability.
Yes.
Can you talk just briefly
Yeah,
about
that won't necessarily help our paramedic issue, but yeah.
But I just mean getting your staffing back up, because I know
So
you had a
last year,
shortage for
we
a
did
bit.
our first, we call it an academy-style EMT class, in which we actually, because typically, we hire people that already have an EMT license or an advanced EMT license. So last year, we did our own program. Instead of hiring people that were already EMT basics, like we hired them before, went through interview processes, did like cognitive testing before, and we actually did our own kind of in-house EMT program in which these people were paid to go through class. So we started with 6, we ended up with 2 because we had a few drop out of the class, and then we ended up having 2 successfully pass, and they both work for us full-time right now. And that was for an agency our size, we're not a really big agency, so just having 2 new EMTs on board was a huge help. So it went really good, and it's one of those things that if we find the need in the future, then we can definitely do that again. But yeah, it was really fun to do, and it was kind of neat, taking people, hiring them in who are really interested and really eager to get into it. So it was a fun program.
Just need a motion to approve me signing that document.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No, I just think the essential part to that is that your service will not
No.
change, so that's
And that's
what
why
I need to
I keep
hear.
reiterating the fact, this is in no way going to change the way that we attempt to staff our ambulances, not at all. And you guys can see, in the letter, I'm not sure if you've had time to look at it, but there's, certain things that we've done on the backside of it to try to help rectify that shortage, some of that being, wage scale analysis. We've implemented sign-on bonuses. We've updated our tuition policy to where we can have, if we have an advanced EMT or an EMT who's looking to go to paramedic program, it's a really good tuition assistance program to help them go through that. So we've done several things to try to help that, and we currently now have, I know one that just got accepted. So we have, I think, 3 right now that are actually either in a paramedic program or starting a paramedic program. So
great.
we have a few that are interested, but most of your programs are about a year and a half long. So even when they start, you're going to have about a year to year and a half before they're, working as a paramedic.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
All right,
Brian.
thank you.
Okay, next item, I need a motion to advertise for bids for sheriff trucks. We did put that in the budget. We're getting away from this leasing thing, so we're going to outright purchase a couple. So just need a motion to advertise for that.
So move.
For a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Advertise for bids for the road department tractor mower. Just need a motion to do that.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to advertise for bids for the judicial building janitorial.
So move.
Second? Any discussion?
Is it, so the contract's up,
It's,
or?
It's an ongoing agreement, and there's some concerns, and it's just time to reopen bids,
Okay.
see what we get, and see if we can amend some of the services we're getting.
Okay.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Surplus, road department culverts, need a motion to surplus via sealed bids.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Surplus, Parks Department, Polaris and Cub Cadet. We're kind of weeding through those. We've got extremely high mileage and got an issue with the Polaris that,
Don't mention it. We're trying to sell it.
that it's just green, and some people don't like green, you know?
Oh,
So, and a Cub Cadet. So, need a motion to surplus that on gov deals.
So move.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Mutual aid agreement, emergency management. Kurt, you want to say anything on that? You got 30 seconds. Take your time.
It's not about money. This is something that all the counties in the state have been working on for probably at least 8 years now. It's going to be a statewide emergency management mutual aid program. It's not going to affect in no way the county to county that we do now. This is going to be, so if there's a declared disaster, it eliminates a bunch of the, may I do this, may I do that. Now we can do it for statewide disasters, and that'll also, you'll be able to charge for your services to the county that you go to. They could submit to FEMA and all that to get monies back, so we can get our monies back if we're out anything on equipment and stuff like that. It's approved by the Kentucky League of Cities, approved by CAECO, and approved by Kentucky Emergency Management. Like I said, this is going on 8 years. The lawyers been chewing this up, throwing it back at each other for 8 years. Somehow, I don't know how, they all finally agreed to something, and it's going to be a good thing in the long run.
Yeah, having that in place before the disaster hits is
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
So it's been talked about a long time. But thank you.
Yep, good.
Okay, need a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those
Why
in
did
favor?
that have to end in a criticism of lawyers?
It's a great point. We never do that,
No.
by the way.
No, give him 30 seconds and he insults
He
the
took,
attorney.
actually, he took a minute and a half.
Oh,
and criticized lawyers.
And then insulted attorneys.
Sue him.
So,
Motion to approve.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution and agreement for flex funds, transportation cabinet. Need a motion to approve and sign.
What is that?
Roy?
That is flex funds that we fill out for every year for blacktop, to get some
Okay.
roads blacktop.
Okay.
We approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Soccer facility agreement with Mike Miller Park and Dynamo. Mr. Pagel, correct me if I'm wrong, but nothing's changed on that except the dates from last year.
Correct. That's something that's already in place. It's time to re-up it, so.
Just have to renew it.
Move we approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Contract, Marshall County Fiscal Court and Commonwealth, House Bill 1 funds, Aurora plant. That's just, Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, MOA with DLG. Too many acronyms. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the
We
final
need that ASAP.
document to get, for me to sign to get that Aurora package plant project rolling. So excited about that. Need a motion to approve and sign.
So move.
Is there a second?
second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Pagel, new hires.
All right, we have a couple of new hires. One's for the Parks Board, for maintenance labor, Cody Glisson, full-time, at the rate of $18 an hour, effective date 7/23/25.
We approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the second one is a familiar name, Patrick Shane Jaco, Road Department, to carry out the rest of the season at the rate of $15 an hour. It is trying to start tomorrow, but it's pending a KPPA approval, which is Kentucky Public Pensions. He retired recently, but he's feeling a kind of a quick need.
Shane will be driving the truck following the mower. We had a gentleman that had to step down due to personal reasons.
Move to
moved.
approve. Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Is that it? All right. Board appointments. Need a motion to reappoint, Jeff Jaco to the Palma Bryansburg Fire District Board, term to expire 6/30/28.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to amend the motion from 6/30/25 special called meeting to appoint Michael Mackey to the Gilbertsville Fire Board to fill the vacated fire position of Randy Duncan, instead of the term expired by Kerry Stokes. Term to expire 6/30/2027. So they had requested to do that to move him to a firefighter's position on that instead of a landowner or judge appointment.
So moved.
That's what that's about.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Terrorism insurance coverage. I received this email, talked to Eric about it. I just wanted to bring this to the court. We've never had this coverage in the past, and my thoughts are, if we have a terrorism hit, that's going to be the least of our worries. But want to bring it to the court and see what everyone's opinion on that is. Need a motion to approve or decline, and Erica, you have the dollar figures on that?
Actually, was it 77?
72.
78. I know it's not included in our regular insurance, so they want us to sign this document to make sure we're verifying that we know it's not included in our.
Okay, so that being said, then you actually need a motion to decline.
Yeah.
To sign a.
Yeah, either approve or
declination
decline.
letter or whatever.
Whatever the motion is.
All right, I move that you sign the letter to decline the terrorism insurance coverage.
Okay.
Second.
Motion
Is that
second.
proposed by our current carrier?
Yes, which is Keiko.
It's a rider.
Would you call that a
Yeah, I'd call it right.
Okay.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report for the fiscal year end June 30th, 25 is on the drive for you. It has all the documents that it normally has. This is the one that goes to the state. If you're wanting to see actual carryover numbers for any of the funds, you would go to the very last page of the part that just says treasurer. And there's a column for June, and under each fund, there would be a book balance as of June 30th, if you wanted to look at that. This is, again, this one goes to the state, so I do need you to approve it. Motion to approve it, please.
Need a motion to approve subject to audit.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Transfer.
I have appropriation transfers and bank transfers. So our appropriation transfers are just a few inter-fund transfers from one line to another. There's nothing abnormal on there than what we normally do at each meeting.
Okay. Motion for
Approved.
Second.
motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our bank transfers only have our subsidies that are budgeted on there. There's nothing else that's abnormal on there either, all budgeted subsidies.
So moved.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Payment of the bills.
Pay the bills.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have no executive session unless there's something Mr. Edwards is telling me we need to know, and there's
No.
not. So Kurt,
Motion
one
to-
last chance to insult him again if you want to before we close.
Well,
I'll save it for later.
going back to that terrorism insurance, specific exclusions are nuclear, biological, chemical, and radiological.
Just so that we know, everything is excluded,
Well, I
except
mean,
for,
I guess if,
yeah.
and then it still has to be designated by the Secretary of State as a certified act of terrorism.
The
And
United
there's
States.
lots of,
The United States Secretary of
there's
State.
lots of
has
holes
it.
before you get
Right.
the payment. on it.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Move to adjourn.
agreed.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.